It is part of business. It is inevitable. You just can't do anything about it when those times hit. I interviewed a business owner, and this was what he had to say.
2000 nafara
2000. So, she can get something 6 years. Wow. Nagano kafara.
tun old market ban fara da kudi ba
Ah.
ina ja one time
Mm,
ina su kadan kadan
mm.
na je na fara da shi one bag two bag three bag ala yazo ya kai
Is it kind of thing? Humble beginnings. Humble beginnings. Like the number of business owners that have been successful now that started from a humble beginning or came from a humble beginning is insane. It's more or less like you either come from a humble beginning and win along the lane because life teaches you crazy things that coming from wealth is not going to, or you actually come from wealth and you either fail or you follow the leader's steps to succeed. But either way, anyhow, this business owner does come from a humble beginning, and that has contributed immensely to the success of his story. He started from truck pushing. Now, in Ghana here, we call them locally one tie pushers because the truck is on just a single tie. So we use that as a name for whatever it is they're pushing. And also because it is not necessarily a typical truck that you know of. It is a wooden truck being made specifically for carrying loads, and it is all centered on a pivot of one tie. You feel me? So that is where the name One Tie come from, and that was what this business owner was doing until he started to tap into the worm of real business. Now, if you watch the full interview, he stated that he started with just one bag of maize specifically, and then he graduated that to two, then three, and then he started incorporating other food stuff like beans, food stuff like soya beans, food stuff like millet, and so on and so forth. Now he has quite a variety of other local food that he sells. Now, just like a lot of successful businesses, he was hit with this tragic time. Well, it wasn't just him. Anybody that was in this business specifically around 2018 to 2024 were hit with the tragic times of food scarcity in the country. Ghana, around that time, had a little food scarcity that was around COVID till after COVID. There was a lot of food scarcity. Things were just expensive. Things were just skyrocketing, and all of that. It was crazy. Well, it wasn't just Ghana. It was all around the world, right? They weren't an exception. Now, he does share that around that time, unfortunately for him and other business owners in this particular business, they will send money to the villages because this food stuff does come from the rural areas. They send money to their partners who are farmers in the village to get items. And after sending this money, these farmers would then start looking for food stuff that they were asked to get. So if let's say this farmer has millet, the other farmer then has maize, the other farmer would have beans, and then they put it together in one truck and send it out to town, which it then gets here, and then the business owner is able to sell it to his other customers here, and then it continues like that. Unfortunately for them, around that time when they send money to these farmers are not able to get the goods, one, and everything just keep increasing. So if they send the money at 50 cedis per bag per an item, right? By the time it gets to this farmers, it will then increase to 80 cedis, and they've still not gotten the item. It will then increase to 100 cedis. They've still not gotten the items. Increase to 150, and they keep calling, telling the business owner that we still have not gotten the item, but then the prices in the market or prices around here is this. So meaning that if you send the money out for like 10 bags, by the time they might have gotten the item, considering all the increases that might happen around that time, you will end up getting like 4, 5, 6 bags, meaning that you run at a loss of 4 extra bags. That means that as it's coming here, it's going to also skyrocket. So it just kept continuing that way. And even if you have goods, you would just keep hearing, oh, things have increased. You just keep hearing your partner telling you, if you have this, sell it this way now. It has now increased. And it just continues that way. And he says that around that time, they made massive, massive losses. It is part of business. it is inevitable. You just can't do anything about it when those times hit. He also did share with me that the local foodstuff business, and now it's not like back then. The way it was profitable and the way it was lucrative, and everyone almost wanted to tap into the business and all of that, it is no longer that way. So if you are with the mentality of, oh, this is a very lucrative job, you've heard of it, this is a very lucrative business, and you want to tap into it, he will not advise anyone. Now, obviously, I would continue to ask why he is in the business, because 26 years in the business and you are saying this or making these remarks, you should be able to switch up. He then shares with me that he's only in the business because he has no choice. He's only in the business because this is the business he's been known for 26 years. Switching up to a different business would keep him stuck. He's only in that business because there's no other option. If he, quote unquote, got the opportunity to work for the government or in a governmental industry or something, he would switch up. But he's only in that business because he feels stuck. He's been in this for 26 years. He has no other option. He has made a lot of customers. He has a lot of people that he supplies product to. He just have hundreds of people that buy from him that he just cannot switch up like that. So even though the business is no longer as lucrative, not that the business is not good, not that the business is not lucrative at all, no, just that the business is not as good or not as lucrative as it used to be back then. And to be fair, and to be honest, I feel his pain because at some point my dad wanted to do in this business. But then unfortunately for him, he didn't have the right partners. So the first investment he made, he ran out of loss and immediately tapped out. And for that reason, I do respect people in those industries because you have to know your thing, you have to understand the industry, you have to understand the business prior to even you becoming partners with others. Because until you start getting partners, you need to be known in the business. Now, how can you be known? You have to be in it. You have to experience all of it, go through the tough stages, go through the hard times, and then eventually pivot through by getting the right partner to work with. And at that time, people know you. You know, you've created relationship, you've built relationships, and over time now you are a trusted name in the business, and so is his name now. My dad ran out immediately, so that's just to tell you that it is not for the weak. But hey, 26 years in the business, you gotta give him her respect. At the end of the day, baka make sales makra na waka ke kasam.
Sometimes muna sayar yanzu 3,000, sometimes muna sayar 2,500 a day.
Now, mind you, this 2,500 is for the retail aspect of the business. Like I said, he's a supplier and a retailer. So this is a retail aspect of the business. Now, 2,500 times 26 days, which marks a month, is 65,000 Ghana cedis. Now, listen up. Unlike the other businesses where we are easily able to break it down and tell you what their initial investment looks like, what other utilities they have to pay for, rent, and just the regular bills that the business will have to take care of, this one is not going to be the same. With this particular business, you don't even get to see your money in cash. You just know that the money you invested in is in goods. But then the moment the cash comes in, you are taking it back into the same business because you need product. The profit you're getting now is not sufficient enough to get the same amount of product that you need. So you would have to use the same capital you invested in to invest back into the business. So it will take you quite a long time to be able to take out the money bit by bit. You don't take out a chunk just like the way you put it in. So if you started with maybe 60,000 Ghana cedis, you're not going to be able to take out 60,000 immediately. You'll be able to take out maybe 1,000 cedis a month, the 1,000 cedis the following month. Then it continues that way. Then it continues that way until you are able to take out the money you invested in and then start looking at the business as, oh, whatever it is that comes from now is not my profit. If not, everything else you be selling, it has to go back into the business. Else, you're not gonna have products. You're not gonna have goods. And if you don't have goods, you'll not be able to supply to your clients. And obviously, the cycle is going to continue because if you don't supply to your clients, you don't make sales. And if you don't make sales, you don't make revenue, no profit. So yeah, that's just how the business goes. Whatever it is you're going to invest, just know that you're not. It's going to take you a long time to be able to take it out because you need to be in the business long run. So think of it like a long-term type of business, not a business that you just get in because it's trending and then you come out immediately. Now you're going in there for the long run. You're going in there to be there for a long time. So you're not just going there for a good time and not a long time. No, baby, you're going there for the good, bad, and all the times, and for the long time. Yeah. According to this business owner, he's not going to recommend this business to anyone, unfortunately, because he says that this is stressful. This is pretty heartbreaking, especially when the time turned like what happened to them during COVID and post COVID. And he also does share that this is a business that he will only tell you if you stand on your 2 feet and say that, you know what, I hear you. I know that this is not a really lucrative business like it used to be back then, but I still want to do this. So if you are the type of person that stands 10 toes and say, okay, you know what? F it. I've heard you. I hear you say all of that. I hear you say all the, misfortunes that can happen in the business. I hear you say all the bad stuff. But I do know that you are in this business because either way, that's still a good thing. There's still a good part of the business. And the part of business is that you make quite a number of money. You make some money in there. And that's the reason why you're still in the business, regardless of how bad it is. Well, if you are that person, this business owner says that you should just be ready for the heartaches. You're going to see the up, downs, up, downs, and it continues that way. So you need to off the emotional part of you and just look at it for what it is in a business. Even though it's going to hurt because you're going to be losing quite a number of money, it can make you smile too at the end of the day because you will be making some good amount of money too either way. So just be ready for it. I then asked this business owner how much a person would need to be able to start this business, and he tells me that this is not a business that you can just start with just a small amount of money. Like I told you from the get-go, this is a business that needs you to invest quite a chunk of money. He says that the least you could invest in to be able to go all out in this business is 400,000 Ghana cedis. 400,000 Ghana cedis would be able to set you off in this business as both supplier and retailer. But hey, over here, majority of us are aspiring entrepreneurs, so we would want to start small, right? So with starting small, he then said that at least somewhere around 20, 30,000 should set you off. Some of the mistakes that he shared with me being in this business that he wish he could tell anyone that is tapping into this business is that no matter how bad or good the business is, do not lose faith. That's one. He lost faith at some point, and then he started giving out the items on credit. And then he gave them a duration of time where they would have to come pay the money. But then unfortunately, some clients or customers are not able to stay up to this 2 weeks. Some of them will last till a month, some of them will last more than a month and come up with their stories in the name of not being able to meet up to the deadline. He says that when you're tapping into this business, please and please and please again, make sure to not entertain none of that. Do not mix your personal life or personal emotions or whatever with your business. If not, your pocket, your business, and your entire employees are going to be suffering at the end of the day because of that. Another thing that he says is a struggle for them as business owners in this particular business is the tax that are on the product. So by the time he's able to move from the countries that these products are coming from, because some of them are actually not coming from Ghana, they have paid so much tax that the amount they're going to be adding on it cannot be much, because if you overcharge, your clients will not be able to buy, which means the product will sit with you and go to waste. So that's one thing to bear in mind, that there's going to be a lot of tax that you're going to be paying. Now, I asked you guys to tell me your top 5 businesses that you'd like to see me do a full breakdown on in a PDF form alongside the contact list of those to contact immediately in those businesses. So if you are already in the business and you're a supplier looking for a retailer, this breakdown is going to be for you, because it's going to be a lot of people in the retail industry in your business that you can contact and supply to. And if you're a retailer in a particular business, the suppliers list and contact list are going to be part of the PDF. So list down your top 5 businesses that you'd like to see me do a full breakdown on alongside the contact details of those to contact immediately in the business, and I would work on that for you guys. Don't forget, this breakdown can only happen after you guys tell me your top 5 businesses, and then I'll select at random to make it happen. I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Stay safe.